What's happening, sports fans? Welcome back to another episode of Mom and Papa Joe. On the menu today is an oxtail pot pie. I had an awesome oxtail pot pie at my local soul food restaurant about a month and a half ago, and I knew immediately I wanted to try to make one for myself. So here we go. I bought these about a month ago, brought them home, cleaned them up, and just vacuum sealed them. And I took off some of the fat. I do not want an oily pot pie, so quite a bit of the fat is off. And what I love about these oxtail is that they're mostly large pieces. The smaller pieces are just pretty much kind of sliced to get those going. We're going to marinate these overnight in a simple marinade. I've got some yellow onions, some parsley, red and green bell pepper, some celery, habanero pepper, some garlic, some green onions, and a little thyme. So we're going to get everybody covered up nicely. In addition to that, we're going to add a couple of tablespoons of soy sauce, another 2 tablespoons of some browning. This is that sugar that's been burned, really adds color. Braising Oxtail Seasoning. This does not have a whole lot of salt, so we can go fairly heavy. And of course, some coarse cracked pepper. We're gonna get this covered up and back into the fridge for an overnight soak. So we're back out of the fridge after an overnight soak in this marinade. These big pieces, folks, we're gonna take to the Traeger and get them colored and a little smoke. And these smaller pieces, I am going to brown on the stove and use them to start our braising liquid, which is going to be the base of this awesome pot pie. So this Traeger is preheated to 300 degrees. I'm going to be putting these large pieces right around the very edge of our grease shield because I would love to get some color. And I'm going to come in here in about 20 minutes or so and flip. I don't think this is going to take but maybe 45 minutes to an hour. All right, so I've got about 1.5 tablespoons of avocado oil in this pot. Nice and hot, man. We're going to come back with our small pieces. And we're going to give those a few minutes to brown. And we're going to get these out of here and come right in with some onions, some carrots, and some bell peppers to get all that good stuff out of there. So we're going to give these a few minutes to sweat in, get a little color, come back with some liquid. So our fresh veggies have a little color on them. I'm going to use the leftover of our marinade. And we're going to give this also a few more minutes. That's just veggies, man, with the dripping from the oxtail, and it smells heavenly already. All right, that's dried out nicely. I've got 2 quarts of beef stock. I'm going to rinse out my little bowl and come in with the rest of that 2 quarts. This beef stock has some sodium in it, so we're very cognizant of where salt is coming from and how much we add. We're gonna give this a few minutes to come back to a boil, scraping up the bottom. So we've come back to a boil. We're gonna come in here with our brown small pieces. We're now gonna turn our stove down to a simmer. And we probably got another half hour or so before those large oxtail pieces come off of the Traeger. Folks, we're right around 45 minutes, man, and I'm going to pull these and get them inside. Right, let's go, baby. We're now going to come back in with the rest of these beautifully colored tails. They're going to shrink as they cook. We want to get them just about covered up with liquid. So earlier I put in 1 quart. I know I said 2, but I was wrong. It was 1 quart. This is going to be just about 2 quarts of liquid total. So we're going to bring this to a boil. And folks, if you wanted to, you could put this back on the Traeger, but because it's going to be covered, it's not going to get any additional smoke, and no need to waste pellets. I've got my oven right now on 300, and we're going to drop this covered in the oven. And we're going to be looking at about 3 hours until they're tender enough that we can just tear them apart with our hands. All right, folks, 2 hours and 55 minutes. I think we're where we need to be. just coming off of here with very little effort. And the smells in this house, wow. I'm gonna put these on a sheet pan, allow them to cool so I can handle them and remove the meat. Right, while our oxtails are cooling, I'm now going to try to get my liquid out of here. I've got my chinois, just gonna try to strain this out of here. Folks, we've gotten all the life out of these veggies, so we're not gonna use these in the pot pie. We're gonna start the pot pie filling with some fresh veg. Our stock is cooling and it's time to pull this awesome meat off. I mean, look at that, beautiful. You know I'm gonna have to take care of these bones off camera because this meat is dope. And this is where a good trim really comes into play. Not a whole lot of fat. And here you're able to shred this meat as fine as you want or as chunky as you want. I want some chunks. Let's go get our stove going and start on this filling. All right, so for this filling, we start with 3 tablespoons of butter, in with some carrot, onion, bell peppers, green onion. We want to get some nice color. So let's give this about 8-10 minutes. All right, we've got some great color going, man. It's been about 8 minutes. I'm going to come in here now. I've got 3 tablespoons of flour, all-purpose flour, and we're going to make a bit of a roux. All right, I'm satisfied with that color, man. And I have got some of the braising liquid. Got it cooled down. This is 3 cups. I am not sure how much I'm going to use of this 3 cups. How much liquid you put in here all depends on how stiff you want your pie to be. I do not want a runny pie, but I don't want one that's overly stiff. I'm going to do a check for salt content in a little bit. Quick taste. Man, that's pretty good. A little black pepper and just a tiny pinch, maybe a 1/4 teaspoon. Did not need much. Now I'm going to come in here with this awesome meat. You know the deal. I don't know how much of it I'm going to use just yet. Let's start there. Stove is at a simmer. Maybe a little more. What the heck? This is what I want right here, folks. This consistency. I'm turning off the stove. We're going to let this cool, and we're going to start working on our Pillsbury crust. All right, so as our filling is cooling, man, we're going to be working with some ready-made pie crust. I am not much of a baker. Wish Mama was here. I'm going to be using a square pan. I don't think that a 9-inch pie crust is going to fit that. Nope, it definitely will not. Where there's a will, there's a way. All right, folks, here we go. Filling is cooled. All right, now let's see how we're going to work this. Actually, we're just going to crimp this shut. It's not too bad. And I know we come back with some slits. Oops, my egg wash. It's that nice color, that shine. And now our slits. All right, that Traeger is preheated to 350. Let's get it outside. Let's go. We're going to be looking at maybe 45 minutes or so at this temperature, I hope. We'll play it by eye. All right, we're at 25 minutes. Let's take a look-see. That is looking pretty good. Sides are getting a nice color. Continue rocking. Maybe it'll be another 25 minutes. 50 minutes, folks. I think we're going to get her out of here. That is pretty nice, man. Smells good too. All right, we're gonna give her a couple of minutes to rest before we attempt to slice. All right, folks, we've given her a couple of minutes to rest, man. Let's see how we're gonna work this. Hope we're able to get her out of there in one piece. Come on, work with me. Gets it done. Oh, I'm ready, folks. I am hungry. Ooh, look at that Steve. Look, gravy. Folks, that is absolutely delicious. Well worth the effort. This cook is not labor intensive. It is a little long, but man, it's well worth the effort. Oxtails are so delicious, especially on that Traeger. First time making a pot pie, and I absolutely love it. Want to thank you guys and gals as usual for hanging out with Mom and Papa Joe's, man. Be on the lookout for another video coming soon. In the meantime, I want you guys to take care of yourselves, look out for each other, and Mom and I will see you when we see you. Holla!